Is it orange?
No? Here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, here. All right. Thank you.
You like gave me one.
I didn't see this
That my office does and doesn't know.
So at 5:30, the brass band is going to start to play, and the actual service will start at 6.
They're starting at 5.
But they're starting, oh, that we extended it.
Yeah, because they're gonna play 45 minutes. So we get our
So
place.
be here by 5. Alright, so my banner is now out of date because of that change. But I can order a new little piece. It'll just be a few minutes.
See the shirt.
Well, I have some vinyl numbers that I'll just slap on it and I'll look at.
I mean, just slowly moving more stuff earlier and earlier. So we're starting at noon.
Well, I think we started at
I know, but yeah. Sneakily try to move everything earlier and earlier to early bird specials.
That was beautiful. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And welcome to Channing Unitarian Universalist Church. We're glad you joined us for worship today. Whoever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, or racial orientation or gender identity, you are welcome to worship here and become a part of this community. Are there any announcements this morning? None. Well, then I will just remind everyone to take a look at your insert for upcoming events. No announcements. I don't even know what to do.
I told you I had nothing to do with it.
Our opening words this morning begin with a poem by Shel Silverstein and then move into a reading from our hymnal that has the same message. If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer, if you're a pretender, come sit by the fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome, who enter this hall as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who find in this people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, whenever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. Could you come up to light our chalice, please?
Please stand as you are willing and able. You'll find the words of the lighting today in your insert, your service.
The order of service is in the back of the church by the Kleenex there, if you missed it when you came.
In this holiday season, may we find peace inside ourselves. May we be peace for those around us. And may we renew our commitment to bring peace with justice to our and the world. May we be peace. And now the affirmation, please. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
On the second week of Advent, the waiting time in the Christian calendar, when we begin to anticipate the celebration of the birth of Jesus, we light a candle of peace, in this prayer, which recalls the Christian roots of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Please read the words found in your insert. Maker of the universe, whose being is in all things, both in the day and the night, eternal, teach us to seek peace. Help us to find that which brings calm to our breath and compassion to our hearts, and show the way toward a loving and peaceful world. Help us to light the way toward justice, to be a candle in the window, a star in the night sky, a way to find the path that leads us in the ways of peace, in the true belief that someday this world can become a beloved community that holds us all in care. We light this candle of peace. And our opening hymn this morning is hymn number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door. Please be seated. And now we have a moment in our service where we all can share joys or concerns that we have in our hearts, or you can keep it silent. That is fine too. If you have a joy that you'd like us all to rejoice with you, or a concern or sorrow that you'd like for us to help hold you up through, please raise your hand and share it this time.
Julie?
3 weeks ago, I had said goodbye to my cat, which I had for 17 years. She had been disease in the last 2 weeks, she was out, so we had to say our goodbyes.
What was your cat's name?
Chloe.
For Chloe. Julie?
Last night, I was invited to watch as my best friend since kindergarten earned her black belt in American Jiu-Jitsu, and it was awesome because she literally kicked ass. She worked really hard. I'm very proud of her.
Sensei Jen. Phil?
I have a joy and a concern. The joy is, today is Lobster Sunday. The concern is, it's Donna's birthday. And she won't tell me how old I am. She keeps saying 39 again.
That's how we're
Is it?
39. I'm looking all right.
That's it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. That's right. It usually works. Jude?
My son that is still in the hospital, now has COVID, so it's in isolation. And it's tough, he's not feeling well at all. But they sent a prescription to Walmart for what is it? Probiotics.
Excellent.
Yeah, which is really helpful. But now they actually administer it in the hospitals, so that's better.
And I will light one more candle for all those joys and concerns we carry with us. We may not be ready to share it yet, or might not be able to share ever.
And now let us enter into the spirit of prayer and meditation. If you'd like, close your eyes. Plant your feet squarely on the ground and imagine you have roots going out from the soles of your feet, through your shoes, through the floor, through any basement or crawl space under the sanctuary, and into the earth below. Feel yourself being grounded into the earth, and feel those roots drawing strength and positive energy from all the growing things on our planet. Now think of someone who could use some of that positive energy. This could be a relative, a friend, an acquaintance, yourself. Keep a picture of this person in your mind or people, and imagine all the positive energy that you're drawing from the earth going to help that person, to strengthen them, to hold them up. We'll remain in silence for a few moments while all that positive energy goes to work. Now, remain seated as we sing number 123, Spirit of Life. And now we will help bolster the physical building as well as the spiritual nature of our church by taking our morning offering. Please stand as you're willing and able and join in singing the dedication of gifts found in your insert in your orders.
Thank you.
We all come to church for different reasons. We may even come for different reasons on different days. Some days we may sit in church and the sermon speaks exactly to something that we need at that particular moment. Or maybe a hymn that's been chosen is exactly what you wanted to hear or sing right then. Every night and every morn, which we'll be singing as our final hymn, was that hymn for me many years ago when our then minister, Reverend Gwendolyn, chose it for a service. You can try and figure out what I needed at that moment when we sing it later. Some days we have other things on our minds, and the sermon may not speak to us, and we may let our eyes glaze over and our minds focus on something else that we need to think about that day. Some days we just need a chance to let our bodies pause and our minds wander. Hopefully you haven't gotten there quite yet today, but I will give you a chance at the end of the sermon to do that if you want. We all need our moments to relax and to find calm. It is possible to find these moments even in our busy days. We are often rushing from activity to activity. There was a Saturday a number of years back that I didn't remember until I was reading through another sermon I had written in 2019. And that particular Saturday, 5 years ago, went like this. I woke up relatively early and got the kids breakfast. After breakfast, I ran a few errands before my wife left to go watch the Italy-Wales rugby game with her brother. Then Jack had gymnastics. While he was at gymnastics, I ran to Target to pick up a birthday gift for a later birthday party. And then I picked Jack back up. I headed home and got Nate a quick lunch that he ate in the car on the way to drop him off to play at his friend's house. We got back home and made lunch for me and Jack. And then we went to a hair appointment I had, and then to the grocery store, finishing up just in time to pick Nate back up from his friend's house. Got home about the same time as my wife, and we unpacked the groceries and then all left to drop Jack off at his birthday party. And then the three of us went to Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner, since Jack was getting pizza at the party, and then picked Jack back up. Does that sound familiar? Running from one thing to the other, timing it perfectly so that you barely have a chance. My days aren't usually like that, but even when they're not, we can find ourselves moving from thing to thing, feeling like we still don't have that time. Wake up, get kids ready for school, take a shower, grab breakfast to eat on the train, commute to work, eat breakfast on the train, go to the gym, rush from meeting to meeting, squeeze in lunch, more work, commute home, rush through making dinner, eat food, try to catch up on family members' days, do dishes, collapse on couch, bring dogs out, brush teeth, go to bed. Where was relax, or think, or let mind wander, or pray, if that's your thing? Well, do dishes was in there. Does anyone here enjoy doing the dishes? Does anyone here enjoy shoveling snow? Does anyone here enjoy doing laundry? So see, we all have things that are chores that we have to do, but that we enjoy doing. Perhaps you enjoy doing them for the reason I'm about to talk about. A bunch of years ago, I realized that chores or exercising or things that I used to not want to do because I had to can be more rewarding than I originally thought. The end of 2013, when we had a house fire, was the beginning of a couple of stressful years when there was a lot on my mind. I found that the times I was forced to focus on a somewhat repetitive task was a really good chance for me to let my mind wander and mull over some problems, whether personal or work or whatever, things that I really needed to think about. But during the day at work, when I was focused on completing tasks, or at home when I was focused on the kids, those were not good times for me to think. I noticed it first with shoveling snow. I actually enjoyed shoveling all the snow in 2015. We had so much snow. Granted, we did have a plow service to do our driveway, which is quite long and wide, so that saved that. But I still did have to shovel our front path with mailman and a path to our chicken coop. I noticed how quiet it was outside. especially by the third or fourth blizzard, when the kids were actually tired of all the snow. Getting to go outside in the quiet of the falling snow was a welcome break from the craziness inside. It was something that had to get done, so it wasn't doing something frivolous. It was productive. I also really enjoyed the physical activity. The thought and attention to my body as I carefully picked up each shovelful of snow so as not to irritate low back injuries. Breathing, the time to think. Next, I discovered that doing dishes gave me a similar sense of calm and time to think. Thich Nhat Hanh once wrote that he washes dishes with as much care as he would if he were bathing the newborn Buddha. If I am incapable of washing dishes joyfully, if I want to finish them quickly so that I can go and have a cup of tea, then I will be incapable of drinking the tea joyfully. I still don't like sorting or folding laundry though. Doesn't work for that. Finding these moments reminded me of the period of time when I prayed every day on a regular basis. So let's talk about prayer for a minute. These words may bring about different feelings to each of us in this congregation. Prayer can be a difficult subject for Unitarian Universalists. Do we pray? Should we pray? If we pray, to whom or to what are we praying? Why are we praying? What does it mean to pray? So we'll start with what is prayer and what does to pray mean. A prayer is, according to the New Shorter Oxford English Dictionary, a solemn request to God or an object of worship, a supplication, thanksgiving, or other verbal or mental act addressed to God. Wikipedia has a slightly more UU definition: the act of attempting to communicate with a deity or spirit. If we look into the etymology of the word pray, it comes from words meaning to ask earnestly or to request. So when someone prays, they are requesting or asking earnestly of someone or something that may be a deity or spirit of life. So who prays? Various spiritual traditions offer a wide variety of devotional acts. There are morning and evening prayers, graces said over meals, and reverent physical gestures. Some Christians bow their heads and fold their hands. Native Americans may dance. Some Sufis whirl. Hindus chant. Orthodox Jews sway their bodies back and forth, and Muslims kneel. Many traditions bow. Quakers keep silent. In certain Buddhist sects, prayer accompanies meditation. Buddhism, for the most part, sees prayer as a secondary practice to meditation and scriptural study. Gautama Buddha claimed that human beings possess the capacity and potential to be liberated or enlightened through contemplation, leading to insight. Prayer is seen mainly as a powerful psychophysical practice that can enhance meditation. Pagans may use objects of power combined with words and movement. Some pray according to standardized rituals and liturgies, while others prefer extemporaneous prayer. Still others combine the two. So praying has many different forms. It may be done privately and individually. It may be done in the presence of fellow believers. Prayer can be incorporated into a daily thought life in which one is in constant communication with the God, lowercase. Some people pray throughout all that is happening during the day and seek guidance as the day progresses. They may use prayer beads to guide them through. A variety of body postures may be assumed, often with specific meaning, mainly respect or adoration associated with them. Standing, sitting, kneeling, prostrate on the floor, eyes opened, eyes closed, hands folded or clasped, hands upraised, holding hands with others, a laying on of hands and others. You can see basically anything goes here. Prayers may be recited from memory or read from a book of prayers or composed spontaneously as they are prayed. They may be said, chanted, or sung. They may be with musical accompaniment or not. There may be a time of outward silence while prayers are offered mentally. As it turns out, I have prayed a lot over the years. I do enjoy prayer. I'm not actively praying on a daily basis, though writing this sermon has made me consider how I can reincorporate this into my life. But I used to. How and when did I start praying? Let's back up a bit. When I was really little, I did the nighttime prayers occasionally with my mom. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Followed by, I pray for mom and dad and Doug and grandma and grandpa, etc. But that wasn't super regular, only when my mom thought about it. At church, and I grew up going to a Catholic church, I mostly spaced out and was bored. As I shared during a previous sermon on the fascinating world of early Christian history, I stopped feeling like a Catholic in middle school sometime. I started reading a lot about Wicca and started to consider myself Wiccan in high school. And that's when I started to pray. But at that time, I would not have called it that. I was doing spells. But what were those spells? Basically, they were vague, semi-defined requests. To do well in school, to be happy, to draw love to me, not to make a specific person fall in love with me, because that goes against the Wiccanry, which I certainly followed, but just to find love in general. And did they work? Sure. I did well in school, I had fun dating, I conquered some depression my junior year. Each time I did a spell, I was focusing my thoughts and energy on one specific goal and using items, fire, yarn, stones, to help focus my energies. I didn't really do much structured prayer until my last semester at college. Then I was a member of both the Pagan Circle on campus and the Unitarian Universalist student group. I worshipped with both groups. We had pagan circles out on my campus's golf course. We had a Samhain ritual on a really windy Halloween night when none of our candles would stay lit. I attended weekly UU student group worships with chalice lightings and check-ins. That was my first introduction to Unitarian Universalism. I definitely felt as though something was paying attention during those rituals, of both kinds. It meant so much to me that I decided to go to divinity school. And in grad school, I started meditating. Every morning, I would have about 10 to 20 minutes of silent meditation. I tried different forms. I have a really hard time keeping my mind still, however, so meditation didn't last too long for me, though I tried. It transitioned into Pilates instead, which, with breathing and counting, is meditative as well. While at divinity school, I started attending First Parish in Cambridge. Thomas Michelson was the minister there at the time, and he was a big proponent of prayer. He did healing prayer for those who needed it, and did a yearly healing service at the church during regular worship. He also led a bi-weekly prayer group. I started attending prayer group, not entirely sure what I would find. I was asking myself some of the questions I asked a few moments ago. Who were we going to pray to? Was I going to be uncomfortable if I didn't believe the same thing as everyone else? It turns out that the prayer group was a really great experience. It always started out the same. The room was arranged with chairs in a circle and candles lit in the center. We sat in silence for the first 5, 10, sometimes 15 minutes. Then we had a period of time to check in. That was one of the reasons the group was actually a closed group. We knew we could share how things had been going the last 2 weeks without worrying about new people coming in and having to explain to them. And then we prayed. Sometimes it was a guided meditation. Sometimes it was a pagan ritual. Sometimes we did Quaker meeting style, where you sit in silence and speak as you are moved to do so. Sometimes we shared what prayer meant to us and how our personal prayer was going. Some people used God or Lord, and some people did not. Thomas shared the story once of how he came to enjoy prayer. He became a minister almost by accident. He was a religion student, not a divinity student, and was asked to apply to become a minister of a church in Iowa. This was many years before the more rigid structure was formed by which ministers are currently ordained. He was unsure of the job, but he did apply and was accepted. It was a very humanist church. His sermons came from his religious studies background. He had had a Christian upbringing, but had left it behind many years before and didn't bring prayer into his church life then. And then one time, while with a group of other ministers of various denominations, he was asked to pray along with each of the other ministers, and he was terrified. What was he going to say? He couldn't back out. It was an impromptu request, and he didn't want to say, oh, I'm Unitarian, I don't pray. So when it came to be his turn, he just said the words that came out of his heart, and it was perfect. He started praying with a prayer group of other ministers and went on from there. Some UU churches do include a lot of prayer in their services. Others don't. We have our moment of prayer and meditation, as well as candles of joy and concern, which is a prayer. And we're lucky to be a small enough congregation that we can share our joys and concerns with everyone out loud. That moment is a very important example of community prayer. When I prayed every day, when did I find the time to pray? In the shower, of course. It's the perfect time. It wasn't in front of an altar. It wasn't somewhere between wake up and get kids ready for school. Well, it was between wake up and get kids ready for school, but not by itself. Showering is something I take the time to do almost every day. And I didn't have that time to set aside an extra 10 or 20 minutes or whatever of my day to just sit and pray. Even when I used to pull one of the boys in the shower with me to feed 2 birds with 1 seed, there would be moments when he was playing with toys and I could pray. What did I do when I prayed? I made a request. I focused my energy and hoped to have that energy respond to my entreaty. That is what I have realized. In all the different ways that I have prayed, the one thing that has drawn them all together is a focusing of my thoughts, a focusing of intent that is meant to go out and do good. If one person is focusing by asking God or a god or goddess, if another is focusing by using ritual or artifacts, or another is focusing by whirling around, we're all doing the same thing. I started and ended my prayer the same way. I said, dear God, dear Spirit of life, cover all my bases, and ended by saying, Amen and blessed be. In between, I often grounded myself in the way that I asked you to do during our moment of prayer, by imagining roots going from my feet through the tub floor and basement and into the ground. And then, after that, just like I did when I was little, I ran through everyone for whom I wished to pray. Occasionally my mind would wander and I'd start to think of other things, but I always tried to come back to the same 2 things. I prayed for everyone in the world who doesn't have someone praying for them, and I prayed for peace. This diversion of prayer into prayer in the shower, or finding ways to enjoy doing dishes or shoveling snow, is to introduce the idea of a moment of intentional ritual, to have that time to pause. Driving, if you do a lot of driving, if you commute, that can also be a time too. You don't have to pray. You can take 5 minutes of silence for meditation. You don't have to meditate. Find a poem that you like and read that every day, or recite it while you're shoveling. Do whatever feels right to you. You may find that you come to look forward to these moments, and as though something is missing when you don't get to do them. And finally, we'll end with the most relaxing song ever. Seriously, according to the British Academy of Sound Therapy, the song Weightless is the most relaxing song ever recorded. The institution, in collaboration with English musical trio Marconi Union, produced the quintessential tranquility track using numerous scientific theories that are known to have calming effects. The study was conducted on 40 people who were then given timed puzzle games in order to create a stressful environment. They were then connected to sensors in order to test their heart rate and blood pressure while different songs were played. Dr. David Lewis Hodgson, Director of Research at Mind Lab International, who conducted the study, stated that the study clearly showed that the song induced the greatest relaxation, higher than any of the other music tested. In fact, he pointed out, Weightless was so effective, many people became drowsy, and I would advise against driving while listening to the song because it could be dangerous. The study, commissioned by Rodak Spa, showed that when the song Weightless was played, it caused a 65% decline in overall anxiety. The 8-minute composition features conventional instruments like guitar and piano, but also includes samples of natural soundscapes and implements specific sound therapy principles to calm the listener. The song starts at 60 beats per minute, but then gradually slows down to 50, causing the listener's heartbeat to match the BPMs of the track. According to the Telegraph, there are also no repetitive melodies in the song. This was done to prevent the brain from trying to predict what happens next, allowing it essentially to switch off. Liz Cooper, founder of the British Academy of Sound Therapy, told the Telegraph that she is confident that Marconi Union and the work the scientists at the Academy have done have resulted in forming the world's most relaxing song. So I'm going to play that in a moment. You can listen to the music, you can let your mind wander. If you fall asleep, we'll gently wake you at the end. It's no big deal. Make sure we're still connected. All right, looks good. If you have like a device that measures your heartbeat, you can take a look and see what it's reading now, and then at the end of the song, see what your heartbeat has gone to. All right. So please just relax, close your eyes if you want, or keep them open if you'd like, as we listen to waves. Oops. Going to my next one. If you still have your eyes closed, this is time to open them. If you're sleeping, we'll come by and nudge you awake soon. Do folks feel more relaxed after that song? Does anyone feel less relaxed after the song? Yeah, maybe. That could be more due to forced relaxation. We'll move on. Blessed be. Our closing hymn is number 17, that one that I mentioned. It's every night and every morning. Every morn. So please stand as you are willing and able. closing benediction today. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another that they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace.
Please recite with me the words found in your order of service insert for the extinguishing of the chalice. We
We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, or the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please be seated. We'll enjoy our closing